Burkittsville off to your right. South Mountain in the background. Alright folks, high above in the mountainside, it's your boy Isaac James here to offer some Halloween treats for the kiddies, y'all. I told y'all that it was happening, and just give me a little time. We finally got out here. Actually got out here yesterday. Keo that you haven't seen in a while, they got real big. Got a little bigger on y'all, and you didn't even know it. And she turned into a full-fledged woman now. Overnight camping for your stinking tails. My hiking or my camping season starts in the fall, but I had to wait because I didn't want the coyotes to get frisky with a Keo because she had a little blood, y'all. And they might come up and try to come to camp and get frisky with a Keo. So we had to wait till that get over. Put me on a little time delay. But it's okay, because we're out here anyway. So that put us on a time delay a little bit. But my camping season is from October to pretty much the beginning, middle of May, because it's hot down here in the summer. So we're up on the ridge above the town of Burkittsville, Maryland. Leaves are still on the trees, so we don't have a great view. And not a lot of color. A little surprised. You can see little blotches from here and there. Unfortunately, it's probably going to be a regular theme. We got out here. We had to set up camp. Hey, Kiki. Had to set up camp and get wood, and she was throwing up, so I didn't film last night, which I probably regret. I got my boy Will the Thrill with me. There's Kiki and Will the Thrill. Of course, if you don't know, it's your boy Isaac James for SE Wolverines. Kind of hard to see through the trees. But it's about, Will, you got the time, bro?
Approximately 5:16.
5:16, so we got a couple hours of daylight, and then I'll be filming all through the night for y'all. And then we're going to go to the creepy little town of Burkittsville and get some shots, because we're also shooting a little documentary. So you're getting a behind the scenes look at everything. So we're doing a little overnight camping, but you want to be on the lookout. It should be, I'm going to try to have it up for Halloween. A little tricks and treats for the kiddies out there, y'all. I don't know, wish I had my zoom lens, but I don't. People don't want to hit that subscribe, y'all. A lot of people don't want to hit subscribe. They like watching it. I get views. It's a very small channel so far. People don't like to hit the subscribe for a brother, so it's all good though. But we are on the South Mountain. Kind of hard to see out there, but we'll get some shots. Try to give you guys a little 360 of where we're at. But we are out here in the boonies. As you can see, I'm not out in the back of my yard or something trying to take y'all for a bunch of suckers. We are out here in the boonies. Good night last night. It got a little chilly. 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, got I don't know, probably in the lower 40s. Tonight's supposed to be colder. Having a little problems with a Keo, so she gets car sickness, starts throwing up. We were thinking about staying another night. We might have to skedaddle out of here tomorrow, so this is just gonna be one overnighter for y'all. But hey, it's better than nothing. It is better than nothing. I'm just glad to finally get out here first. Well, we normally go out in May too, a lot beginning of May, but stuff happens. It's kind of hectic this year. Didn't really go out that much. I do go out in the summer, but I had a lot going on, y'all. I just couldn't really get out as much as I wanted to. But tonight is just an overnight camping. We're not going to get too much into the survival aspect because we're doing a lot for the documentary. And we're doing a lot of just an overnight. It's not really about survival. It's just a regular camping for the night. The survival stuff will come into the future. I'm going to start making some more videos to just start updating y'all, because we got to get ready, y'all, because it's getting real hectic out there. And we got to get going, because every day we got is a blessing from the good Lord above that we have another day to learn. But you can feel it's kind of going slow, but at the same time it's going fast. So we'll see how it goes, but I don't want to get too far ahead of myself here. Biggest thing is I wanted to start a channel a couple years ago, and better late than never. And I did start filming. I got a lot of footage, but the footage is not very good, because even with the selfie stick, and I use a camera, I don't use a cell phone, I use a camera. But with the selfie stick, it's still a little shaky to film, and I don't want y'all puking all over your TV screens trying to watch the film. So I got the stabilizer now. Hi, Kiki. We call her Kiki for short. Hey, babe girl. She got big on y'all, didn't she? She's a monster now. She's still growing. Akitas go from 2 to 3 years of growing, and she's a big girl. She's a big girl. Super sweet though, but at the same time, try to creep up on us, she's gonna bite you in the throat and rip out your Adam's apple and make applesauce. So I don't know if you know the area you're in, don't try no sneaky stuff, because Akio's out here and she'll try to bite you in the hind parts. You like Adam apple, don't you, Akio? Don't you, baby girl? You like applesauce, don't you, baby? Akio loves apples and applesauce, so if you want to be trick daddy, you can do what you want to, y'all. I'm just saying, from a professional, I wouldn't recommend it. Really wouldn't recommend it. But it's up to you. So, this is the other side. That was what I just showed you previously. More of the town. This is the other side. We're on top of a ridge. And this is more of the other side going down. Flattens out, and then it drops off. Drops off on the other side of the mountain. Kind of thick. These woods. Again, we're on the South Mountain of Burkittsville. Don't really want to say the exact location, so y'all don't try to take my shine and come up here and try to do what I'm trying to do. Then I might have to report you to YouTube for faking the funk and riding mine. So I don't want to give the exact location. More films to go, and we're gonna be here all night and the rest of the day. Round 5 gets dark at 7, and I'll be right back at you, y'all, because I'm getting kind of parched and gotta get a little drink, and I gotta just chill out for 1 minute, and I'm gonna get right back at you. All right, y'all. Showed around the camp, we're keeping the fire low so it gets a little darker, but that's our wood pile. There's a lot of wood here, but it goes fast. Anybody knows camping knows the wood goes fast. So it might seem like a lot of wood. It really is not a lot of wood, but it's some good hard wood, so it kind of lasts longer. Some of it's a little punky. We tried to go up over yonder where there's more wood, but not a lot of flat spaces because we're on a ridge, and yeah, as you can tell, real rocky on top of this ridge. But wanted to show you that's our little wood pile. Get a good, still learning how to use this stabilizer, but that's a wood pile. That's a little that's our wood. That's old Blair's tombstone. We always gotta put our tribute to Blair, because we're gonna find you, Blair. You can run, but you can't hide, and we're gonna find you, Blair. You think you're slick, but we're slicker, and we're gonna get you. You can run, you can take your little pointy boots, Blair. You can get your broomsticks, you can try to fly away. But we're faster, Blair. And we know these woods like the back of our hands. And we're going to get you, Blair. But Akio's a little young, y'all. We had her off the leash yesterday, and she just gets weirded out. This is our first camping trip, so I like the metal leash she has. That she has plenty enough room to walk. She was good yesterday, but she took off on me once, and she's just kind of weirded out a little bit out here, and it's her first trip, so I want to tie her up. That's me in Keo's tent. She did very good in the tent. I thought she would get a little weirded out being in a close space, but she slept pretty good last night. See if I could drop down. That's Will's little single tent. So that's our camp, and probably in about a little bit I'll film it. Probably getting ready to eat supper here, and I got the Harvest Right. I got a Harvest Right that I make freeze dry, make good homemade foods. Better Mountain House. So me and Akio is gonna have pot roast, and Will, what you got, Will?
Biscuits and gravy again.
Biscuits and gravy. Will got the biscuits and gravy, y'all. But he's more than welcome to sample ours too. We're not We're not gonna try to be stuck up and not let Will have some pot roast.
Man's gotta eat.
So just gonna sit y'all down. Space for camp. Gonna put my glasses on because I can't see without my glasses. Y'all don't see me that much on camera on my videos. I know what I look like. But you're gonna see me now. So we're gonna cook a little bit because the Akio is hungry like always. Ta-da! So we're just hanging out, just chilling.
This didn't happen just on a whim. It took a lot of work for us.
Yes.
Busting tail.
Yes, it's not easy, folks. Let me pull my chair over next to friend Will to throw here. Will was the genius that thought about coming up here, and this is the 5th anniversary, y'all. Kind of special time. Kind of special time for us. 5 years in a row. Met Will at his job. We both started shooting stuff. Found out we both like camping. And first time we went out, he was like, dude, you know the movie The Blair Witch? I'm like, yes. One of my favorites. And he's like, dude, we're going to the town. And I'm like, I'm game. You ain't gotta talk me into that, because I love that stuff. And we've been coming up here ever since. We had a couple jokers with us for the
a couple mishaps at first, and
yeah.
then we just kind of decided we decided to do it ourselves, because I mean,
we're kind of veterans and people aren't hardcore.
You can't go out.
like
You can't come out here if you don't know what you're doing. If you're not going to put in the work.
Yeah, a lot of people want to come out here and don't cut wood. They just want to chill and just use our wood all night and just chill and don't want to help out around camp. So we had to let them folks go, even though, I don't know, we don't really talk. They're cool though. They're cool. I ain't trying to diss them or nothing.
Not
but
dissing RV campers.
yeah,
they had the Toodaloo back to Camping World.
Yeah, they, people, it cracks me up because people are like, we're going camping, and they get in an RV and think that's camping. Not, if you're watching this.
No disrespect.
No disrespect, but to us, this is camping with tents. You got an RV, it's basically like you're living in a trailer like Eminem or something. So, we're like Ramboing it out here. This is actually luxury for us. We even get, well, it ain't really luxury, but I like, when I'm by myself, if I go camping by myself, I like using a hammock more, even though in the wintertime a hammock gets cold, so you gotta have an under quilt and you gotta have a top quilt. But when I got a Kia, I probably use the tent more. I like having a tent too, but hammock gives me a little visibility in case somebody wants to get their creep on and try to take your boy out. So, like having the visibility, and with a tent, you zip it up, you're by yourself, and it gets a little, you can't get the vision on that much with the tent, but whatever. We got them things in case somebody want to try to creep up anyways. But
that's confidential.
Yeah, defensive purposes only, folks. Here at SE Wolverines, we don't promote violence. So I'm just saying, I don't like going out in the woods and not being prepared. So you never know. You can meet Jason, Michael Myers,
Blair Witch.
Exactly. Blair might try to get sneaky. So, but we don't like showing things like that because the kiddies, and we don't promote any type of things like that. Use your imagination of what we're talking about. So, we're not gonna talk about, we ain't even gonna say what it is. So just use your imagination. So that's the deal. A lot of people be like, oh, we're going camping, and love using RVs and stuff, and to me that's not really camping, really. I don't know.
I mean, what's it worth it to you? Do you want to spend $90 in gas and go, I don't know, a couple hours down the road, maybe 4, maybe 5, or do you want to
spend $0
and walk? Can't tell you how far we are, but a little ways from town. Spend $0,
especially in Dark Brandon's world. Getting a little hectic and hard to survive out there in this economy right now. And to me, your boy, what my channel's about, I don't think it's gonna get any better. I'm not saying it's the end of the world, but it could be the end of your world because you're broke and starved to death in today's society. So I'm not thinking like the Earth's gonna fall from orbit or something, but I don't like spending the cash. I like spending as less money as possible. And when you got a camper, you gotta cough up the little cash. And I don't know about you, but I know my boy here don't have a lot of money. I don't have a lot of money. But even if you do have a lot of money, it's expensive nowadays. So we go for free, y'all. That's the advantage of it. Now,
Free public restrooms.
yep, free. Yep, you can take a deuce on the side and pee and do whatever. You're not paying no camping charges. You're not paying a $15. Sometimes I like going to camp, like a tent camping. Sometimes when it's convenient because you got water available. Here, we gotta. Like my man just said, we ain't gonna tell you how far we gotta walk, but it's a little ways to walk to get water. That's the only problem. And Keo's like a fish. She loves water. Water's heavy, so it's a pain, really. I didn't film too much today because when we woke up, we had to go back a ways to get water and fill up and get resupply. That's the only thing. We're not camping next to a river or on a mountain and there's no water around here, so that's what it is. So I don't know. It got hot today. They said it was like supposed to be 68, but you know the fake news, and it really was 78, but it's cooling off fast. And I don't know if it's picking up. You can hear the wind blowing, and it's getting a little chilly. Probably put a jacket on here in a little bit.
We were just talking. It's probably dropped about 15 degrees in the past 2 hours.
Yeah, it gets cold up on these mountains, man. Like if a town is, it all depends, but a town is probably, just say it's 50 degrees. Up here it's going to be 44, 43. It all depends though. But the mountains are definitely colder and you got to prepare for it.
Unpredictable.
Yep. Got to make sure you're prepared. So, just checking the time. Oh, we're good. We got another 14 minutes for this segment. Not like you film with this camera for 25 minutes. So, I don't know. We'll probably eat here in a little bit. A good thing about the freeze-dried meals, I will say, is you don't really have to, like a mountain house, you gotta put the water in and let it go for, what is it, 10, 15 minutes?
Depending on the meal, yeah. Yeah,
let it steam up to hydrate. But these meals, you just drop it in. Now, I can't weigh the water to know how much, so sometimes it could get a little soupy, but it's all good. In Hollywood, y'all. So, get a little soupy, it's still good, but try to, yeah, it's good.
Food, man.
It's good. Last night, I had spaghetti and meatballs, and I had beef stroganoff. I had a Mountain House meal last night. My man he likes the biscuits and gravy. He's like, biscuit, you're like the dude, mustard and biscuits. I don't know if you ever seen that movie.
Out. Yeah, never checked that one out. I have to put that up.
He likes
that on the calendar.
Yeah, it has like, well, it has like gravy, biscuits
gravy,
and
sausage.
Little sausages. So he had one last night.
It's pretty beast. It's not bad. Highly recommend.
Yeah,
it's not as good as my man's, I'll tell you that. Mr. Chef here, Mr. Guy Vietti.
Yo, I could cook, y'all. You might not know it, but I can actually cook. I cook all day sometimes. I cook all day. I wake up, I cook for my little sidekick, and then I cook for myself, and then I cook for the harvest right. And sometimes I cook 12 hours a day. I gotta slow down because it's cutting into my video times how much I cook sometimes, but the video times is the editing sometimes. It takes a while to edit. Hopefully I can, maybe one day I'll be able to afford somebody to edit for me. But so I had meatballs and spaghetti. We had beef stroganoff, Mountain House, beef jerky. He had biscuits and gravy. This morning Akio woke up. Akio always wants to eat, so I had lasagna. I had a baked lasagna. That was good. There was cheese in it. It had A lot of hamburger in it. It was delicious. And so that was good. The meatballs. You like the spaghetti, right?
It's on point.
Yeah, it was good.
On point, surprisingly. Like,
Yeah,
you,
it was
you
big.
wouldn't think that something like that you could do yourself.
Yeah,
Not a lot of people have accessibility to those kind of things.
Yeah,
And
look.
it's kind of great. It's kind of awesome
Yeah.
that he's actually one up a lot of people, one up a lot of like industries that they want to spend
It's expensive. It is.
lots of money on
Yeah.
dehydrated meals that you can honestly do it yourself if you can afford it.
Yeah, because I never have leftovers. And it's a lot cheaper now. The Harvest Right machine, if you don't know, they are expensive. I know a lot of people are hurting for money and can't afford that. I understand what me and my family did, and I'm not trying to tell you what to do with your money, but credit. But we had to put it on a credit card, like half of it, and pay cash the other half. I'm not suggesting that, but it's that time I'm feeling in life where if it all goes down, I don't know if Mr. Visa is going to be coming knocking at your door. So that's up to you. That's a personal decision. We got the small one, and it ran, it's expensive. It's like $3,000. We got the one with the pump that has to add oil. They have one that doesn't have oil that's even more expensive. I think they got I'm not really for sure. They might have like a large, a medium, and a small. We got a small. As far as the large has 4 trays, we got the one with 3 trays. So just checking the time. And we got about 10 minutes, but
I'm gonna let your boy. He's gonna talk the rest of this time for the segment. Duty calls, kids.
do your thing. Watch out, the snakes. Don't bite your snake. There, my friend. You know what I'm saying? Whip out your snake, and then you might have a snake try to bite your snake. That would never be good. Or you might have to do a number 2, and
Don't forget the TP, kid.
and you might have to do a number 2, and you got a doo-doo, and you pull down your pants, and the snakes want to have romance. So just make sure you check your surroundings before you put your hind parts down. And Mr. Snake don't try to come up and try to get frisky with you and try to do some Brokeback Mountain on y'all. So, you don't want Mr. Snake try to do some Brokeback Mountain on you, so just make sure you check your surroundings. You gotta be careful out here. You can get killed out here. There's a million ways you can get killed out here if you ain't paying attention. You got widowmakers, you got rattlesnakes, there's copperheads in this area. There's plants you could touch and you'd be over, folks. So you don't want to try to eat nothing. Just a word to the wise. You don't want to try to eat something you can't identify, because you can be in trouble, folks. Especially out here in a wilderness and you got a long hike and you eat something wrong, it might be over for you. Well, I'm not very good, to be honest with you, with identifying plants. I know a couple of them, simple ones, but I'm not like Cody Lundin or something and can just go around picking up berries and all types of stuff and eating them. I know what I know, but I don't know. I'll be honest with you, it's very limited as far as just walking out in the forest and me being able to identify plants to eat it. I do study it, but it's very hard. You want to kind of have a couple books to cross-reference stuff, and I don't know. That's why cash supplies are important, and you could stash stuff all over the mountains, and we're gonna get into that because you gotta eat. You don't want to starve to death, but you gotta figure if something happens, everybody's going to be hunting for the animals, so animals are going to be limited. So you want to get your supplies, and you want to start early and get your caches, and a million ways we're going to get into that. You can bury it, you can just hide it, it's like having a geolocator on it. I don't like messing with that, but I'm pretty good at what I got. Good navigational skills. Not saying I can't lose stuff, but we're gonna get into all that, folks. So we're just gonna end this segment, and we'll be right back at you. All right, I just wanted to. It's getting chilly. I had to. Let me see. Let's see what I'm probably looking rough. Look a little rough, but it's all right. We've been out here for a day already. Look, part of my appearance. Whew, child. It got cold. You can probably hear the wind. Like I said, part of my appearance, man. We've been roughing it for a little bit. Didn't get the best night sleep last night. I slept probably 2 hours at the most. Me personally, I like to have a radio with me just to kind of break up the sounds of the woods and to keep my mind occupied, because sometimes your mind can play tricks on you. So I like playing the radio. I put it on low just so I can hear somebody, if somebody's trying to get their creep on. Put it on low, or I'll rock like one earbud in my ear, but I like having a radio. But last night I wasn't really messing with it, so I need sound when I sleep too. It helps me sleep better. That's just me. Probably a lot of people are like that. I always put the TV on or something. I watch a lot of camping videos when I go to sleep, actually, just of different people. But so I didn't sleep the best, but we woke up early in the morning. We got up pretty much probably 7:30, right after the sun rose up, and we went down, got some water, because it's a little hike. It took us a while, a couple hours to hike back. Loaded up our backpacks. We just left our equipment up here, went down empty-handed with the backpacks, so we can carry as much water, because like I said, we go through water because a lot of the stuff, our food, takes a lot of water. And then Akio drinks like a fish. She's like Finding Nemo. So, but I wanted to show you real quick, probably a better scenery than my mean mug. It's like a little, not really a cave. Well, that's the sky, because I hit the button wrong. Put this back. I got one of those Weebills, the stabilizer, and just shout out to Weebill. I do like it, but me personally, one thing I don't like about the Weebills is the camera's batteries go out fast, and you have to unscrew it and rebalance it every time, unless I'm doing something wrong, just to change your battery on your camera. And it's not fun, folks. And you got to have it like perfectly balanced. I just got it, so I'm not the best with it. Maybe I'll get better over the years. You got to have it perfectly balanced, or it starts acting screwy like that. Or if you move it wrong way, I probably didn't got the best balancing on it, because I just wanted to get out here and shoot real quick. But what I don't like about it is you gotta take your camera off and rebalance it every time you change the battery, and it's a pain in the neck. I wish they had a little trap door where your battery goes with the camera, so you can just drop the door down for your battery. Maybe I got the cheap version or something, I don't know. I know there's bigger ones and better ones, but trap door, just take the battery out, throw another battery in, and you go. It's a pain in the neck to rebalance it and everything. But this isn't a cave, but I wanted to show you guys this. If you're in a survival situation, cool little spot. Watch my foot. Cool little spot. It's like a little, you can either have a fire up in there, which would be good because it would deflect back at you. Fire hit that rocks and heat up, you'd be warm. But there's that one, it doesn't go all the way across, but then there's another little, gotta watch my step because real rocky here. There's another one right there. It's kind of cool. I wish it went all the way to one big area, but there's like a little area there, and there's another little area right there you could chill at. That'd be, if I was by myself, I'd probably circulate that heat. I think it'd be pretty cool. The wind is picking up. It started dropping already. Like I said, it was up to 78 today, which the weatherman said it was supposed to be 68. Well, it got 10 degrees higher, but the sun is going down in this part of town, and the wind is picking up, and it got chilly out here quick. Gotcha. Hey, Kiki. There's Kiki chilling. She did pretty good. She got a little spooked out. Like I said, she looked miserable last night, y'all, and I just didn't film that much because, like I said, we got out here a little late, which will probably be a theme of mine throughout my videos. And it was her first night. She was a little weirded out a little bit. It's her first time in the woods. First time I took her camping. I just wish she gets car sick. She gets car sick. She's just throwing up a lot. And I thought I would have to maybe get out of here today, but she seems to be over the car ride. And she's keeping stuff down. But like I said, she probably threw up 6-7 times yesterday. Just kept on throwing up. She doesn't like the car. She's not used to it. She'll probably grow out of it. She's still a puppy, man, even though she's getting big. A little far shot. That's a good scene right there. So my ugly mug ain't in your face. Yeah, it's getting chilly. You can probably hear the wind pick up. Woo! It said the first night it was like, trying to remember, I didn't write it down or nothing, but yeah, I think it got 42 at least, probably colder, and it's supposed to be real cold tonight. Not real cold, it's Fahrenheit. I know a lot of people do it with Celsius, but it's probably gonna get down to 35, 36 degrees Fahrenheit tonight. So that's a little chilly. Ain't the chilliest, but for a fall night, that's a little cold to me. Yeah, I get cold easy, so that's not good. But I got wool socks. Oh, those trees are shaking. Gotta definitely look up and make sure you ain't sent by the widowmakers. That tree don't look the best, but it goes that way. Like I said, first year we came up, I had a hammock. They had a big, large tent, and a tree fell in the middle of the night. And if the tree blew to the right, it would have crushed them to death, but it went to the left. So y'all gotta be aware of the widowmakers. And if you don't know, some people don't know, it's just dead trees or branches that if the wind picks up, you ain't around them. If a tree's alive, it's good. But this tree ain't the best behind us right here. Really. But it is bending that way and probably fall down the cliff because it's like bending and shaping. Sun's going down, y'all. So you're probably seeing that behind me. I don't know. Let me check it out real quick. Sun's going down. Well, you got time? It's dark around 7 right now. Plus you're in the woods, so it gets dark fast. 6:20. So we got about 40 minutes, and it's gonna be creepy crawlers out here, folks. I gotta balance this thing out a little better to be carrying it around, but I'm not gonna do that right now. I'm just gonna kind of leave you stationary and get you a good shot of the camp. We'll just go with this. Let's just go with this. I hope you're hearing me good. If not, we'll give it a little boost on the audio when I edit it. I just kind of put the booster on. I didn't have the booster on the microphone. So I hope I got everything from before. The microphone was on. So hopefully I got it. If not, might have to give it a boost, and then I just put the booster on. So hopefully it'll come through. Just do it right now. Get some water going, because the Keo is getting a little cranky. Alright folks, I had to take a break. I hope and pray that the stuff I had before picked up. Like I said, I could kind of edit it and boost the audio a little bit, because I didn't put the booster on, and that would be a wiggity whack if it didn't pick up. But hey man, stuff happens, so gotta make sure I check everything. But we're gonna put some water on, because the Keo is getting hungry, plus I'm hungry too. It's just not a Keo. We're gonna put some water on, let that boil out and boil up, and we're gonna get going on this pot roast and potatoes. Get that cracking out. See what we got going on. Like I said, we got about 40 minutes or so, and that sun's gonna be behind those trees, and it's gonna get dark out quick. Yeah, but the wind is picking up big time. Big time. You can probably hear it. Hopefully it's not like this all night long. Got an airplane flying. Joe Robinette airplane. That's another YouTuber. He always has an airplane flying.
I think it's windy up here. Imagine up there.
Yes, sir. We'll get this water going, and I'm gonna make sure I get some footage while I got some more light out, but we'll just shoot the whole, just sit here and chat a little bit. Let's see, I'm a fiend for the caffeine, so I bring a Red Bull, man, because I get tired, man, sometimes. So I don't like coffee, especially when I'm camping, because coffee goes right through me. You hear those trees, man. That's one thing. I don't really like being out here when it's real windy. And that's what I'm talking about, folks. We got a tree right here. The base, I was just shaking on it a little bit. The base looks good, but the top is a little questionable. I'm not even gonna lie. Probably not the best thing to have camp right here. We didn't see it though. We were out here for 2 days and just noticed it just now. Hopefully it calms down a little bit. The tree is leaning. The tree is leaning that way. Looks like it has a strong base, but you never know what the top can do. Top's a little suspect. And it's a tall tree. So I kind of, Keo was over here chained up to this tree. I moved her back a little bit. I'm so crazy over Keo, I'll probably jump on top of her, kill myself and try to save her. Which it probably ain't the smart thing to do, but we're just kind of keeping our eye out on that tree, man. It is bending that way, away from us, but the wind's blowing so hard it swings back this way sometimes. The wind just started picking up right now, man. Maybe it's just, hopefully it'll slow down. Even sometimes though, you gotta watch out, man. You might not need wind and it still falls. That's a little suspect. The only fortunately thing where we're sleeping at, we're protected by other trees, but where I'm sitting at right now, probably isn't the best spot. Probably isn't the best spot. So if you hear some cracking, And you can hear the other trees bending like crazy. You can hear it creaking. That isn't this tree behind me, but if you hear some cracking, you're gonna see me jumping like Jumpin' Jack Flash. I did bring a little. I did bring a little stove that I think I'm gonna use so I could just get this going a little faster. So I can get this going. Sometimes the water takes a little while next to the fire, and then you get stuff in the water. So I'm gonna take that out, put it on there. They'll be boiling in no time. We'll start getting our eat on here in a minute, folks. Yep, yours is good. We'll put his closer into the fire, like a smart man. Me,
It's not like that.
I'm Mr. Dum Dum and put it out further. Yeah, she will. Akio loves to eat. Pretty much like all dogs, but Akio, she's a growing woman, so she loves to eat. And I love taking freeze-dried foods because it's light and I can bring a lot, and it's really not that heavy. I got a big Rubbermaid tote back at the home camp, at base camp, full of them. I could pick it up, throw it across the room. Probably weighs not even 5 pounds. It probably has a lot of meals. I don't know exactly how many I got in here, but that's why I like the freeze-dried foods instead of a whole bunch of cans or carrying a whole bunch of rice or something, man. That weighs you down. I try to go as light. A lot of people start off, including myself, it's kind of funny. You start off camping, a lot of people just get the heavy stuff because they're not aware, and then when you start getting a little more seasoned, you start knowing that everything's about weight and everything. Try to get as light as possible, man. So it's kind of funny. You get the old stuff. A lot of people can't afford it because the light stuff, it's all about the cash. So like everything else in life. So a lot of the light stuff costs more money too as well. And a lot of people can't afford it, which is perfectly understandable. So if you're smart, you hear those trees creaking. If you're smart, you might want to just save your little cash up and buy the light stuff at the beginning, and then you won't be wasting money. Or you can buy the heavy stuff, get into the light stuff, and just sell it on eBay. But they just passed that 1099K, and Dark Brandon's gonna tax you for it now this year, so keep that in mind. You pay your taxes when you buy the stuff, and then you're gonna pay taxes when you sell it on eBay. Tax. But we won't get too much into that because we're gonna keep it lighthearted and having a good time. I know y'all watch these videos to get away from that stuff, so we'll cut that. We won't talk too much about that. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. So, but like me, Walmart's cheap. A lot of people go to Walmart and buy stuff. So now some stuff at Walmart is okay. They got the Gerber knives, and some of it's okay, but it's just heavy. So got the water starting to go. Probably turn up the flame a little bit. Get it going. I don't want to make it too hot, because then Akio can't burn her tongue. I don't want to burn my tongue either. Hopefully this winter calm down. It's not a good place to be in the woods when it's real windy out. It's probably one of the most dangerous times, that and lightning. Now, me and Will the Thrill came out here in a hurricane, y'all. Like what, 3 years ago? 2 years ago?
Yeah, at least something like that. Yeah.
Ooh, child. It was cold. It was rainy. We got up here in the middle of a hurricane. I forget what hurricane it was, but your boys made it through it, but it wasn't like Motel 6 leaving the lights on for you. It was rough. But we were a little seasoned and we made it through it. Thank the good Lord above. But it wasn't like sunshine and rainbows. I'm going to tell you that right now. Was it sunshine and rainbows? I'm going to keep it right. Let me see how hot it is. It's probably pretty good. Seen the little bubbles. I don't know where I even put my this one? Data. Make sure you take out your... Oops, probably shouldn't have thrown that in the fire, but it's okay. Make sure you take out your oxygen absorber. Dump it on in, my friend. And like I said, I like this now. A lot of people weigh these out that know how much water you add to it out here. I don't mark the bags or nothing out here. I kind of just eye it. But the good thing about this, all you got to do is kind of rehydrate it. You don't have to fold it up. Could if you want. I kind of like eye it up, get it wet. Add a little more. Make sure we get that gravy, baby. Keel got up. She's like, Daddy, what you got for us, sister? So I kind of put the oil or the water, in it. I don't let it sit for it, but I let it, I make sure it covers it. Kiki, get back, baby girl. You can't see. Kind of swish it around, make sure you get all the contents wet. See, it's trying to get a little dark on it, like a little.
Yep. 25 more minutes. Not even.
Yeah, I forgot, because like everybody, I always forget something. I forgot my big camping lantern, but I do have a couple little lights I can string up. Hopefully, with the fire and the lights, there'll be enough light to see me. If not, hey, man. Boy, we're going to get this fire cranking at night, though, a little bit, so... We're keeping it small right now. Kiki, get back here, baby girl. Come here. Light the camera over. Kiki's hungry. Let's see what we got here, Kiki. Oh my goodness. Corn ain't really rehydrated the best well. I'm gonna give y'all a good look. Put something in this pan for Kiki and give y'all a look to see what we got. This bag's full too. Kiki's gonna tear this up. I probably should let the corn rehydrate more, but I'm so hungry and she's hungry. We're gonna go to town on this and I'll probably chip a tooth. I'm gonna show y'all, see that? Oh, kids. It's delicious. Look at Kiki. She's getting down. She don't even want to wait. Come here, Kiki. Let's go over here, baby. There you go, Kiki. I eat a little bit. I give Kiki more than I eat. I'm not really a big eater. Corn is the corn is crispy. Corn is crispy. It's the first time I just got this a little while ago, so I'm still learning about it. Oh my goodness, folks. Plenty of light. We're back in action. Folks. I can turn this light off. Yep, we're still good. Folks, I'm gonna tell you right now. Weeble, we're going to have a little discussion. I'm not going to talk about it now, but what happens is the battery, real quick, I'll just let you know what happened. You can see it's pitch black out. When the battery dies on the camera, I don't even know how much. Sometimes it's hard to know when the battery dies because it's kind of chilling. The batteries go fast. But when the batteries die on the camera, I got to see when it cut off because I was talking for a little bit and go back through it. And when the battery's cut off, you got to totally take the camera off to put the battery, to change the battery. And then you got to rebalance the Weeble, and it's not the most convenient thing. But we won't harp about it. I'm going to shoot a review on it. It is a nice piece of equipment, but it's not the most convenient equipment because you got to rebalance it every single time. Now, I know I'm a little new with it, with rebalancing it. But boy, when it's kind of weird, it's like picks up, it dies down, picks up. Might be doing it all night. The local weather didn't say there's hardly going to be any wind, but like I said earlier, it wasn't supposed to be up to 78 today, so they got that wrong and they got the wind wrong. So they're batting 0 for 2. When we head on down off the top of this mountain, I'm going to film some more, probably just us hiking down the trail. And as far as tonight, we're just going to get this fire going a little bit more. We're not going to be doing too much.
No trick-or-treating tonight.
Exactly. And we're not going to be filming too much as far as the overnight camping video is. So, and we'll go from there, folks. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me and Will the Thrill tonight, and Akio. Can't forget Akio. I appreciate y'all having the patience for me before I came out so I could get out in the woods. It's been a little while. I started my channel really going basically. I forget the exact, maybe April. So it really took me a little while to get going. Like I said, I had some personal things I had to take care of, but everything should be cool. And I thank you for your patience. I thank you for clicking on the video. If you want to learn how to survive, hit that subscribe button. Help a brother out, y'all. And I'll come back with y'all. All right, y'all. When we're walking out tomorrow, getting out of here. I appreciate it. Y'all be good.
Y'all be good.
We're back up and running. I'm going to shut it down and get the fire, make it rouse on up a little bit, and I'm going to get right back at you. I had to take a little break to get everything situated. I'm going to get right back at you. Akio ate her meal. She's knocked out cold, y'all. She's sleeping and she's chilling, but she's warm because she's a furry. She got that fur on her. Me and Will got our jackets on. The wind's kicking up. The wind's dying down. Fire's keeping us a little warm, but it's windy and it's getting chilly. It's probably gonna dip down tonight. I'm gonna tell you that much. So let me get right back at you. I'm just gonna adjust a couple more things. Get right back at you, folks. So stay tuned. All right, y'all. The wind calmed down. Thank goodness. Will had to go to bed. He's knocked out. He had a long day, I guess. And he's knocked out. Akio's over there getting her sleep on. I'm going to tell you what we're working on, a little bit of our documentary. Welcome to Isaac and his storybooks. I'm going to tell you a story that I heard growing up that the adults used to tell us when we went camping in these woods when I was growing up in Baltimore about the real Ellie. Not the fake Ellie, not the fake Ellie on the Blair Witch, but the real Ellie Kedward.
that came from Ireland through the Baltimore Harbor before she made her way up to Mount Greylock in Massachusetts. Do you know the story of the Blair Witch? Not the one in the movie. I'm talking about the real Blair Witch. They used the real Blair Witch to name the one in the movie. The real Blair Witch, Elise Abigail Kedward, born 1729 in Glengariff, Cook County, Ireland, later known as Ellie Kedward. She was a half-blood witch who grew up to become quite powerful in the dark arts. The daughter of an Irish witch and a Mongol father. After her parents' death, she'd wandered around the woods in the Ireland countryside. She was orphaned at a young age and briefly raised by an outcast wizard living in the Skyberian hills in Ireland. When he too died during the Great Frost, Ellie found herself again an orphan. She was subjugated to horrendous treatment, first by the Mongols who was looking for the man who raised her. They imprisoned her at Bacon's Thor Asylum, and later by the wizarding community when they imprisoned her in Azkaban. After Ellie's escape from Azkaban in 1768, she stole a wand along with numerous other supplies, rare ingredients for potions. She made a 6-month voyage aboard a sailing vessel to the New World and a land called Baltimore. She arrived in the summer of the following year and made her home at the base of Mount Greylock in what would eventually become the state of Massachusetts. There she could keep a watchful eye on all witchcraft and all of the wizards, and she will keep the wand of Azkaban. Ellie descended the stairs from her ship. She looked at the harbor deck. She descended some more flights, and she was there. The New World. They call it Baltimore. She walked over to her large assortments of ingredients and potions, in a long black dress to her ankles. A black shawl covered her shoulders. Long gloves to her elbows, and shoes made of black glass. As she descended the stairs, people were everywhere. People going back to and fro, people selling fish in the markets, people trading, people selling, people buying, people talking to each other. There were also people waiting to give all the passengers a ride to as far away lands, wherever they want to go. But it's gonna cost you that gold. That sweet, sweet gold that we came here to the new land to find. It's gonna cost you gold, my man. And I will get you on down the line. Came upon one man, he was tall, but he looked like he was weak in the jaw. She passed him up. Then she came upon another man, short in stature, shoulders wide as an ox, and he looked just as strong. He was accompanied by 2 Indian trackers. The man tipped his hat to Ellie. Then he spoke. "How do you do, man?" Ellie said to the man, "I'm fine, young man." Ellie thought the man was quite attractive. The Indians had deerskin moccasins with deerskin pants and shirt to match, a knife on one hip and a hatchet in the other. Ellie looked the man in the eye and said, "Have you ever heard of Mount Greylock?" The man looked her back in the eye and replied, "Yes, I have. I'm a Blair. My family has founded this land. From South Mountain all the way to the North Mountain, through the Cumberland Valley of Maryland, to the edge of Pennsylvania. I know every rock, river, and fishing hole from here to New Amsterdam." Ellie took her black gloved hand and reached down in the small black satin satchel that clung to her wrist. She pulled out 3 gold coins and handed them to young Blair. "Have your men retrieve my things and load them in the wagon. You're hired." She handed the gold coins to young Blair, 1 for each of your men. Young Blair took the 3 coins and replied, "Ma'am, I don't know if you know this, but there's smell of revolution in the air. There are British spies and soldiers all along this coast, all the way to Mount Greylock. We have to take the less beaten path, the ones not known to men, the ones that my family founded. We'll ride to a family farm about a day's ride from here, and we'll get resupplied and head out to Mount Greylock in the morning. Ellie reached down with a black gloved hand to a black satin satchel and pulled out 6 coins, handed them to young Blair, and said to young Blair, "Here's another coin for you and your men, and 3 more coins for any supplies that we may need. Have your men retrieve my things off the harbor deck." Young Blair reached out his hand to help Ellie into the front of the wagon. "What should I call you, miss?" "I'm sorry, bad manners. My name is Elise Abigail Kidward, but you can call me Ellie." Young Blair said, "Nice to meet you, ma'am." The Indian scouts retrieved Ellie's things from the harbor dock and loaded them in the back wagon. They took a seat next to Ellie's things and reached down upon the wagon floor and picked up a rifle apiece and leaned back into the wagon. As the men and Ellie drove out of Baltimore, the less and less smoke you could see from the chimney stacks above. There was farms, fields as far as the eye could see, filled with rye, wheat, and tobacco. Way past the farm, if you keep going way past the farms, past the town of Frederick, the wilderness, though deep, deep woods, way past where the lantern's light can no longer reach. As they went deeper in the forest, long into the night, the ride took a day's time. Ellie and the men arrived at the area they called Blair. The only thing that illuminated the night skies was a huge fire, a large bonfire that lit up the family farm. They heard screams from the farmhouse. The men quickly jumped off the wagon and tied the horse to a tree. The men and Ellie ran to the house. A young man opened the door. Young Blair's brother, the farmer, said, "Brother, come quickly. My wife is dying. She's trying to give birth to our twins." The men and Ellie walked in on the scene of the farmer's wife laid upon the top of an oak table, legs spread wide, bleeding profusely from her genital area. The farmer's wife quickly passed out from all the pain. "Please, brother, help. Help, I will do anything." Ellie looked the man in the eye and said, "Anything?" "Yes, just help. I'll do anything you ask. Just please save my wife and my children." The man screamed out in horror, "Yes, I will do anything. Anything that you want." Ellie told the man to grab rags and place the water in the fire so it can get boiling hot. The men came from outside, slammed the hard oak wooden door on the farmhouse, and handed the water to Ellie. Ellie threw some rags, long satin black rags, into the boiling water, told the men to bow their heads and look in the other direction. All the men turned around and bowed their heads. Ellie took out the wand she got from a Zagabond, stirred the long satin cloth rectangular rags she threw in the boiling water. The lady still passed out on the wooden oak table. Ellie took the long black satin rectangular rags from the water, folded them up, and placed it on the eyelids of the closed eyes of the farmer's wife. She took the other rags and placed them upon the lady's genitals, took out the magic wand from a Zagabond and waved it back and forth, and then in a circular motion. And then she uttered the words she learned from the book. She put the wand away. Cries filled the room. Ellie told the men to open their eyes and turn around. On the table was
a twin boy and a twin girl. And the farmer's wife looked normal. Twins. They ran in the farmer's family. Not his dad, but his grandfather was a twin. The man smiled and the baby's cries went through the night. Ellie turned to the man and said, "Sir, I save your wife and child."
Ellie quick told the man and reminded him that he would do anything. The man said, "I have to keep my word."
Ellie picked up the boy. Ellie said anything.
The man said, "Please no, take me instead."
Ellie
Told the man,
You told me that you would do anything. Ellie looked at the man and said, "The boy is mine." The farmer said, "No way, you can't take him." But Ellie reminded the man that you said you would do anything. I could take your wife and the girl and the boy if I choose to. And the man calmed down and realized that a daughter and a wife was worth more to him than the death of them all. So the man told Ellie, said, "I can't believe you saved them. I must keep my word. I would do anything." The man thought for a long moment and said to Ellie, "Spend the night. Let me just have one night with my boy."
Ellie awoke with the sounds from the birds, awoke with the sun upon her face. She looked to her side. It was her new baby boy.
Finally, someone to love and someone to love me back. Ellie kissed the baby boy on his forehead, looked down at her wrists to the satin black bag, pulled out the wand from a zakaban, put the wand in her hand, and made a mark on the palm of her hand. She picked up the baby boy, turned him around, pressed the palm of her hand upon the baby's back right shoulder, and left the same mark on the baby's shoulder that she made on the palm of her hand. Then she laid the baby back down beside her. She whispered to the baby boy, "With these marks, we will never be apart. With these marks, love, and the wand will find you." She heard a commotion coming from the front of the farmhouse and said, "Wait here. Mother will be back." She went to the front of the farmhouse, looked out the window, and saw young Blair's brother the farmer, young Blair's two Indian scout trackers, and an English officer flanked by two soldiers, standing with a man dressed in all black. Ellie thought to herself, could that man be from Azakaban? Is he trying to get the wand? The yelling grew louder as young Blair's brother said to the English officer, "She's in here in the back room with my baby boy. She's a witch. I saw her do her magic." The smile upon Ellie's face quickly turned into a angry scowl. She felt double-crossed. Young Blair's brother thought he could get away with letting the English officer know that Ellie was a witch, and just maybe he could get his son back from her. And if they too should get Ellie and hang her for witchcraft, he thought to himself that could only be a bonus. The man dressed in all black, along with young Blair's brother, the Englishman flanked by his two soldiers, started making their way to the front door. The English officer told the English soldiers to go around back. He said, "Make sure she doesn't leave from the back." Ellie quickly made a dash. She tried to get back to the boy as the soldiers opened the back door. No time to reach him. Ellie moved into the kitchen and out the back kitchen window just as the men from the front entered the old farmhouse, and just when the English soldiers entered through the back. As the men were looking for Ellie, and Ellie snuck around to the front to retrieve her belongings. Retrieved the wand from a zakaban from her satin black bag that clung to her wrist. Went up to the wagon that held all her possessions, waved the wand in a circular motion, and all her possessions shrunk down to size. Ellie then waved the wand over the wagon and the horse, and they shrank too. And Ellie simply picked up all her possessions, with the wagon and the horse included. She picked them up with 2 fingers and placed them in her black satin bag. Ellie hovered above ground. I must not leave any tracks for the trackers to find me. I have to get to Mount Greylock and make my way back for the boy. They double-crossed me, and they will pay. As Ellie made her way into the tree line of the dark forest, she turned around, and she heard young Blair yell out in a cheerful glee, "Brother, in here. She left your son. You and him are together again." The British soldiers came back to the English officer and said, "She's not here, sir." The English officer told the men and one of young Blair's trackers to come with him to the horses. "We'll hunt her down." The man dressed in black tried to leave the farmhouse with the men, but the English officer said, "Sir, you wait here. We may need your assistance later if there's any more of these witches." So the man dressed in black stood behind. After Ellie heard young Blair's brother, the farmer, crying out with glee that his baby boy was found unharmed, Ellie dropped to her knees. She retrieved the wand from her small satin satchel that clung upon her wrist. She made the same mark on the ground that was on the palm of her hands and the baby's shoulder. Tears streaming from her eyes, she repeated the words from the book. "I curse this land and every man that ever stands upon it. You've been warned, you'll be scorned, scratched like nails by every thorn. As your limbs are torn, your family will always mourn. The sticks and stones will break your bones. Your children missing and will be gone. I take what's yours because you took what's mine, forevermore into the end of time." Ellie stood up from the gap's ground when she heard the English officer yell out to the other men, "Look there, just within the tree line, there she is." The men jumped on their horse and took off after her. As the men reached the same area that Ellie made the mark, the men looked all around. One of the soldiers spoke to the English officer. "She seems to have vanished, sir. She must not get away. We must hunt her down." Young Blair said she was headed to Mount Greylock. That is north of here, so let's head north. Ellie seemed to vanish amongst the trees in the low fog. Ellie hovered above the ground on the gap. She headed north right through these very woods. The men rode right past her. She thought for a minute if she should head back to the house to retrieve the boy, but then she thought of the man in black. He must be from Azakaban. "I will head north to Mount Greylock, continue my studies, and head back with the boy when it's much safer. He could be looking for the wand." The English officer and the tracker and the two soldiers traveled a quite distance. They seemed not to find Ellie within the forest. They stopped to rest their horses next to a small creek. They all bent down to drink water and to fill up their canteens, and decided to make camp for the evening before they head out in the early morning to hunt down the witch. Ellie saw the men's fire from a distance. All the men were sleeping except for one of the Indian trackers that was kept guard. Ellie seemed to move and hovered above the trees, and her glass shoes did not make a sound as she stood behind the Indian tracker. A sharp nail grew and protruded through her black-gloved hands to a sharp point, sharper than any sword a king could bear. She snuck behind the tracker and sliced his neck from ear to ear. The tracker grabbed his throat and fell limp onto the ground. Ellie turned around, and the officer was first. She took the wand, said the words from the book, and the man burst into flames. The officer, screaming in pain, awoke the other men. The soldiers just watched their officer burn
to black ash right in front of their eyes, and then did unspeakable things to the two British soldiers. Ears removed from head, eyes pulled out of sockets, fingers removed from the hands, toes removed from the feet, bodies torn apart limb by limb as blood penetrated the ground. The men's brain matter in body organs decorated the nearby trees. Horses' heads were decapitated. Ellie turned around and said, "This air, this land, this area called Blair will always be forgotten in time." Then she found the trail that headed north, right through these same woods, and made her way to Mount Greylock, along with a small black satin satchel.
All right, y'all. We weren't tired. Didn't sleep that much last night, but it's okay. Will and Akio made their way to the parking lot. I was taking a little while to pack, and I told them I would meet them down there. So this is gonna conclude this video of the overnight. Our first overnighter. Please, if you like the content, please consider subscribing. We'll have a lot more videos coming up. And we're gonna meet up with Akio and Will. Hopefully he ran her around so she don't get sick. On the way home, she's tired and she'll lay down. So this is your boy Isaac James for SE Wolverines. I appreciate y'all clicking on the channel and stopping by. But this will conclude this. Thank you for clicking on the video, and I hope you have a good one. Good morning.
Good morning. How's your hike going?
Oh, good. I'm all done. I'm just going down here to meet up with my friend and my dog. They're packed up camping. I just got to meet them down there.
Ma'am, I'm not trying to tell you how to do your hike or anything. Everybody has to do their own hike on the Appalachian Trail, but you might want to trade that walking stick in for a good pair of tracking poles. You could probably get it at the next town up the road.
Is this trail heading north? I'm making my way to Massachusetts, and I'm supposed to be meeting a group of friends. They're supposed to meet me here.
Yeah, you just keep on up this trail. It heads north and runs into Pennsylvania, and then eventually Massachusetts. If you want, there's a water spot up a little ways to your right.
I got a question for you. I called an Uber here and didn't get a chance to grab any batteries for my flashlight. You wouldn't happen to have any batteries I can buy off of you?
Oh, you don't have to buy them. I'm done with my hike. I could just give you some while you take double A.
That'd be great.
Sure, I just got to get them all in my backpack.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.